We now interrupt your regularly scheduled boredom.
You are tuned into Cave Crew Radio
at cavecrewradio.com. Hot topics, pop culture, weird news, and all the latest from around the globe.
Mother, this is freaking me out.
I want to speak to the manager.
Oh dear, this won't end well.
Things are getting really weird here.
Attention, the bar is now open. Welcome, cave dwellers. You have entered the wonderful world of weird. You're listening to Choo Choo Stew, The Big B, and DK, only on Cave Crew Radio.
For us already. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is DK. Touch wood. We seem to have everything back under control again here in the cave.
Don't mention that.
I knocked wood.
That sounds like aluminum, not wood.
Well, maybe it's press board. I don't know. We got another big show coming up, folks. The Big B editorial, what could be the biggest book of stew yet, with Constable Carson and all kinds of other great stuff. Let's kick things off on the pre-show because you're like elated this week in Michigan and everywhere else, and I can't cross the border. The U.S. is major COVID news here, major.
Right. So was it 2 days ago? I guess it was. The CDC came out and said all vaccinated Americans can now go maskless anywhere. Isn't that what? Inside, outside, doesn't matter. You can go without a mask.
You can dine inside, outside, dine inside. You can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind.
That's right.
Yeah, you're very exciting news.
Right. So the CDC puts out the guidance, and then it's up to the individual states to lift their mandates. Like 20 states have already, even before the CDC, they didn't have any mandates, and you're open, you can do whatever you want. The bad news or the downside, because with New York and our asshole governor, there's always a downside. He has now said, after all these months of we have to follow the science, we have to follow CDC guidelines. Well, CDC guidelines now say you can go maskless anywhere. Our shitbag governor came out this afternoon and said, well, we're not going to lift our mandates just yet. We're going to review what the CDC says with our doctors and see what we're going to do. So it's basically he doesn't want to give up his control.
Yeah, and I noticed some of the companies now. I'm only seeing Michigan on the local news. I see some companies are saying you still have to wear masks, and it's also up to the individual employers.
Right, individual employers, individual stores that you frequent. It's up to them. But now that the guidelines from the CDC are out, and more, of us here in America are being vaccinated, there's going to be a lot of pushback when you try to go into a store without a mask and they're still requiring masks. There's going to be a lot of pushback saying, look, I'm fully vaccinated. I don't have to wear a mask.
Yeah, I did my part. I took my chance. I got the shot like you asked, like Fauci said. And I mean, it's great news for you guys. You're going to have Well, you already had people in stadiums, but you're going to have more people in stadiums. Everything will start to get back to normal again. And we are so, at least I don't go out much, but we're so jealous in Canada. Although we did get a very small glimpse of good news.
And what was, I can't wait to hear this.
So, as you know, I have been given my first vaccination. I probably won't receive my second till, well, you know how things go in Canada, right?
Sure.
Maybe New Year's Eve. But anyway, and my wife's booked Tuesday, and now I can get my kid in the end of the month. And my kid actually, by the way, Dad, I saw something on TikTok, and he took a magnet off the fridge and placed it on my arm. And of course it fell. And I said, you're getting your fucking shot as long as you live under my roof. Anyway, we can now, people with first vaccinations, and I know we have listeners here in Canada, once we get over the lockdown, June 1st, we will now be able to be outside maskless, be it in our yards or at an outdoor dining or somewhere outdoors with our close friends and our family.
Isn't that nice?
That's the most I've seen in over a year.
Isn't that so nice? I never once did I ever wear a mask while I was outside. Like I carried it with me, when I went to a store, I put it on. Never once did I wear one outside. That's ridiculous.
I hardly wear it at work. Okay. There's 8 of us there. We've been through the entire thing, and we have a huge yard, right? We're a gas plant. So there's lots of room, and no one's got sick. The only reason I'm doing this is because you are the only people on the planet that have Hormel chili in a can. and as good as my chili is, sometimes you put a hot dog on the barbecue and you want to open up a can of Hormel chili. And I cannot get that in Canada. So, Jason Scott, I just want to add, he says, barbecue at DK's house, June 1st, everyone welcome. You're more than welcome, because I really had a hard time deciding who my close friends were.
Well, I still wouldn't be able to go because your border's closed. I'm not allowed.
Right. It's better times are ahead. Although, bad news for those of you, I don't know, you probably never heard of it, but you have big fairs and big events that happen in the summer. Sure. The CN exhibition in Toronto is like this huge, it's like a country fair mixed with an amusement park, but of course held in a city of 9 million people. It's an amazing thing to do at the end of August, and they canceled it.
Ooh. Where's this, in Toronto?
In Toronto, yeah. And the fireworks between the United States and Detroit and Windsor is another really big fireworks. If you Google the fireworks on the Detroit River, it's a real sign of friendship. And it's going to go again from a secret location, and no audience will be invited. Right. But better times are ahead, Big B. Especially for you.
Even with the CDC guidelines that just came out, even before then, we were told here in New York, and if you recall, that's how the whole epicenter thing started. We were the epicenter of the pandemic worldwide. We're going to open fully July 1st, like full stadium, full capacity stadiums, full capacity restaurants, bars, you name it. We can go wherever we want come July 1st.
And I'm going to expect an immense amount of kickback from Canada because, again, we're not a third world country, and we're closing in on the show, folks. But we did not prepare with the vaccines. So anyway, what do you say we get this party started here?
Sure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the show is about to go live. And you will see us on your screen, whether you want to or not. I just have to press a couple buttons here, and away we'll go.
Air traffic control, bring in New York. Roger that. Bring in Canada. 10-4. Gentlemen, we have liftoff.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Things are starting to get weird in here. Really weird. It's the Big B and DK on Cave Crew Radio. Cave Crew Radio. Listen to us now at cavecrewradio.com.
There was a time when the world turned their back on men. Men with a dream and savage yearning within them. Legions compelled by passion that knows no boundary. A consuming flame that defies plausible explanation. Battling the forces of domestication, they find the courage to band together to experience the awesome power of these men.
I say this with all due respect.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Tonight's broadcast of the Masculine Feminist has been commandeered by the secret society No Ma'am.
Gotta go to a place like a shot and a beer, steak, man. Saying we can stop, get pancakes, and then we'll get laid, all right?
Why do you drink ice cold beer on a hot day?
Mr. Clavin, what else are you gonna do with it?
To alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
The Yankees are champions of baseball! It's a power play goal!
This is Cave Crew Radio.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gander. It is Cave Crew Radio, ladies and gentlemen, and I am live in my cave in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. It's the lockdown. My name is DK. It is great to be here tonight. We got a huge show ahead. We are live on cavecrewradio.com. We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. And of course, we are available wherever podcasts can be found. We've got some great segments. We've got some great stories. We have probably, I know we say it every week, but if you don't wet yourself a little bit tonight after the Book of Stew, there's something wrong with you. It's a biggie. So we're going to have some fun tonight. And of course, the way the show goes will always be swayed by our great friends out there in our live audience in chat. So please chime in regularly and feed us some things. It was much more fun, though, when Amanda could not get into chat and Big B had to read all her texts. That was my favorite. But anyway, it goes without saying, ladies and gentlemen, I need to bring in my co-host. He is the Duke of Urine Stench Alley, as knighted by the Queen herself, live on air. He is your president-elect of the United States, and he is, of course, the epicenter of something, Sir Big B.
Yes, live from Queens, New York, I am Sir Big B, your president-elect of the United States of America. And as you said, always the epicenter of something. This week, I am the epicenter of all things moonshine.
My God, you're getting closer to Kentucky all the time.
Can't wait. Now,
Country road, take me home.
That's going to be my theme song from now on. If you recall, where did you go? Oh, there you go.
I'm right here. I wanted to hide this. That's what. Okay.
There you go.
So too well tonight that I must at least play with your visuals. After all, you're drinking moonshine, so you can't be.
I am not drinking moonshine.
Please tell me you're drinking it out of a bottle. That's all I want to know.
Not yet. Now, if you recall, a few weeks ago, I told you about the show called Moonshiners.
Yes,
where they do illegal moonshine throughout the Appalachian Mountains and the Appalachian area of the United States.
Right.
And one of the moonshine,
New York, where you're going in August. You're going to the upper state.
Yeah, at some point. Yeah, we haven't figured out exactly where, but we'll be going upstate New York at some point in August. But anyway, so one of the moonshiners on that show went legal. He has a legal distillery and produces moonshine. I was at what I call the greatest liquor store on earth over the
right. It's like the biggest shopping mall of liquor in the world.
It's fucking humongous. It has everything you could possibly imagine.
When I come to New York, I do want to see the Statue of Liberty, the Empire State Building. I want to have a Coney dog, but will you bring me to this liquor store?
I will take you on the Choo Choo Stew tour, which we went to the Statue of Liberty. We went to the Empire State Building. We went to Coney Island. And on his very last day, we went to the greatest liquor store.
All right. As long as I get a stop at the greatest liquor store in the world.
We will absolutely go there. So I was there over the weekend, and I didn't even go down there on purpose. My wife was looking at wine or something, and I just turned down one of the aisles, and it was right in front of me was the moonshine section. I said, "Oh, let me look and see if that moonshine is there." And lo and behold, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, hang on. Let's go to our cameraman, Bob, the cameraman, please.
There we go. So Climax Moonshine, made by Tim Smith, who is from Climax, Virginia. So that's why it's named Climax Moonshine. This is his legal product, as seen on Moonshiners, the TV show. So I said, you know what? I've had moonshine in the past, like different versions of it, and it wasn't really that bad. So I said, you know what? I'm going to pick up a bottle, and I'm going to open it and try it on air for the next show. So
when we're done, I want to tell you a moonshine story. But carry on before we.
Right. So what I'm going to do now is I haven't opened it yet, so I'm going to
you drink from the bottle. Let's.
Huh?
I say, will you drink from the bottle?
I will not drink from the bottle to start. I want to. And it's got a nice little cork.
So obviously, I'm not making you nervous enough to.
Why would you make me nervous?
Is this your first taste?
Yes. Yeah, I just opened it. So this is my trusty Rangers shot glass.
Right.
So I'm going to pour myself a shot.
Playoffs. They did not make the playoffs.
They did not make the playoffs, but I'm going to pour myself a shot.
By the way, while you're pouring, is John Tortorella going to be your next coach again?
They're talking about either Tortorella or what's his name? Gallant.
Gerard Gallant. Yeah,
him.
Okay.
So, everybody,
ladies and gentlemen, on the big screen, his first shot of this moonshine that he bought, as seen on TV. Just like the ShamWow guy, this is as seen on TV moonshine.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, to everybody, cheers out there. I will give it a taste.
There we go. That's a big shot too. That's and I love when Short Size says this chin chin.
Chin chin.
Yeah, it reminds me of what's his name? Van Dyke when he was cleaning chimneys. Chimney. You didn't even take any. It's still full.
Oh, no, I'm not going to down it. I want to sip it to see what it tastes like.
I don't think moonshine is a sipping drink. I think it's filled with whores. And you know how they have Netflix and chill? I think you would drink moonshine, take the girl to Kentucky Fried Chicken, and you would have chicken and dickin'.
Chicken and dickin'.
Chicken and dickin'.
as entry number 1 for show titles, Chicken and Bacon. It's not bad. It's not as harsh as I thought it would be. You got a little bit of a burn, but it's fairly smooth. It's not like here, of course, this is just straight out of the bottle drinking.
Right.
This is really is sipping. You don't just down moonshine. It's not something you take, you pound a shot like a whiskey or a Jägermeister, whatever. This is a nice sipping drink.
I shall call you the Montana Moonshiner.
The Montana Moonshiner.
Yeah.
So it's made of corn, malted barley, rye, and sugarcane.
During the Endless Summer Beach Party, do I need to bring in a 12-step expert? You just showed us 3 different kinds of booze, and we're not 5 minutes into the show.
Well, yeah. So I've had a little bit of moonshine. I'm drinking a beer, and for my buddy Short Sai, I'm going to drink out of the bottle.
Oh,
of my peanut butter.
Driving them to drink out of the bottle, ladies and gentlemen. Do you ever how are your bowels? Do they move quite regularly after the show?
I'm perfectly fine. While I was at the greatest liquor store on earth, I bought a bigger bottle of whiskey. So because I know I'm almost done with this, so I bought a bigger bottle for later or next week. Speaking of after the show, last week
you got to wash it with Grolsch, whatever that is.
That's the beer I drink.
I feel like I'm watching freaking Lost in Space.
So cheers, connoisseur of the shine. Thank you. Cheers to everyone.
Oh my God, Big B, do you have a bucket? Holy shit! I'm just drinking a beer here, ladies. Well, you can't see me yet. I'll bring myself back if he's done.
Well, I won't be done until the end of the show. But you know what?
Is this B away tonight? Is this why you're partaking in such excellent?
She's upstairs. Speaking of after the show, what I do after the show. Last week, I was I was ripped after the show because I'm drinking a ton of fucking peanut butter whiskey.
You were pounded. But you were stressed. It was okay.
Yeah. It was kind of like a little celebration after the calculus that I was the epicenter of.
Yes, and of course our failures in the previous couple of weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm fairly lit, and it's after 10 o'clock, whatever time it was, and I'm laying down. And all of a sudden, I get a little Facebook message alert, and it's our pal Short Sai talking to me about music. And I was showing him I'm lit trying to type URLs to where my old band's music is. It's all coming out wrong. I finally was able to send it to him, and he listened to some tunes. But yeah, I'm hammered talking about music and metal and all this fun stuff, half drunk, half awake. It's a good time. The show continues after the show goes off. The show continues.
You know what? It's Friday night. We've all been through a lot. I'm gonna have to drink more beer, so you're gonna need to do some talking, which is okay. Your segment's coming up very shortly. Notice how I'm starting to delegate things.
That's perfectly fine.
I'm learning after it's been since 2015.
See, Short Sai says he was guilty about being seriously lit as well. It was 5 a.m. there. Yeah. So as we're talking, he's hammered, I'm hammered. We're an ocean apart, having a wonderful conversation about music.
So I finally got rid of the co-host that would pass out or would be inaudible after a half hour into the show. And this is what I've inherited, ladies and gentlemen, which allows me not to get drunk because I've been known to be drunk and Big B has carried me through the show. But now he makes me the designated driver every single week.
Well, maybe not next week. This week is different because I found the moonshine. I don't, we'll see what happens next week. But
what are those things that they have on horses? I can't wait till you open that thing and pull out another, the flaps they had.
Like the side saddles, whatever it is.
Side saddles. I can't wait till you go into your side saddle and choose us out another magical booze.
What, do you want to see all the bottles that I have literally right next to me?
Yeah, let's.
Okay.
Yeah,
so they're all similar drinks.
Of course,
but,
if you're on audio, you can't see this, but use your imagination. So,
Right.
so we have the Glach.
This is my Grolsch, my
Grolsch.
go-to beer.
Grolsch, yeah.
Okay, so that's a bottle of beer. Then, of course, we have the Climax Moonshine.
Climax Moonshine.
Which I just showed. Then, of course, the peanut butter whiskey.
Oh, hang on a minute. We have to interrupt you really quick with breaking news. The reason Amanda is not talking to us is not because she can't access the chat, but because she's drunk right now.
So that means if everything follows suit, that means at the end of this show, I will be lit and Amanda will be lit, and we will be talking about books or something. I don't know. She's going to message me after the show.
You guys will look at Scentsy burners or something.
That's right. We're going to talk about scents. So this is my other bottle of peanut butter whiskey that I bought. So that's 4 bottles now. Then, of course, I have a bottle of Glenmorangie Scotch.
What's that? Lemon meringue Scotch?
No, Glenmorangie.
Oh, Glenmorangie. Okay.
Highland single malt Scotch whiskey. And then finally.
Why can't you just put it on a shelf? Why do you have to have all these things close to you like you're in a bomb shelter? Yeah, and the piggy shit I know you don't like.
Right, yeah, I wasn't a fan of this. The reason why I have...
Piggy or...
What happened?
I don't know. What was the pig guy's name?
Peg Leg Porker.
Peg Leg Porker. I love that guy. Amanda's not drunk, but if he keeps it up, maybe soon. I can't not tell you. We need to set a date very soon, but I cannot tell you the Choo Choo Stew Memorial Mania.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be beautiful. Books. Come on now, something better than that. She wants you to stare deeply in her eyes, Big B. And Short Size says, nice single malt. And maybe Jason is drunk because he keeps sending.
Maybe. I mean, Amanda can video chat me after the show too. We can do Facebook message video chat. That's fine.
TMI. But Jason Scott maybe is drinking those crushed lime margaritas.
I didn't realize it was crushed soda. And just to answer your question,
drink in the world. But here's the thing. You have the finest liquors and you drink them right out of the bottle. Right. Jason Scott makes a crushed lime margarita in the fanciest blue pottery glass he can find with ground sea salt around the rim. It's beautiful.
It is wonderful. And let me just answer your question why I have all these bottles sitting right next to me. Literally 6 inches away from me, is because over there I have a fully stocked bar and there's no more room left. I have
shelf.
I have scotches. I have vodka. I have gin. I have imported beers. I have various bourbons. I have a whole bunch of stuff at my bar, which is
you are the Amsterdam of Queens.
Some people might say
district.
Some people might say I have a problem. I wouldn't say I have a problem.
No, you're not slurring yet, which is good. I slur when I'm sober, so don't worry about it. Anyway, I have a story and I have a question. Mm-hmm. So you were back at this super liquor store,
right?
Just weeks after you told me about this wonderful dandruff app or whatever it was, where you could just plug in and order this booze and they would deliver it right to your door. What happened?
Oh, Drizzly.
Yeah. Are they charging you a commission? What's
right? Well, you can order, and it comes from local liquor stores. Now, the greatest liquor store on earth is all the way out Long Island, so you got to drive there. So we were out in Long Island doing some things, doing a little bit of shopping. We had to do some food shopping and, get a couple of things for the house. So we were in the area of the greatest liquor store on earth. So my wife wanted to go because it's the end of the year and they're giving gifts to the teachers. So getting nice.
It's May.
Huh?
It's not the end of the year. It's May.
Yeah, it's the end of our school year is like the beginning of
school
June.
year. It's okay. You said the end of the year.
Yeah, I meant school year.
I just rang in 21 and it's been shit. So
right, no, I meant the end of the school year. So my wife wanted to go and get some presents for the teachers. You know, a couple of nice bottles of wine and whatever. So we stopped at the greatest liquor store on earth. But yes, she also ordered Drizzly. We got a couple of things of wine from called 19 Crimes. I have to. It's upstairs. I didn't.
What is that? The blood of Son of Sam?
It's like these bottles of wine, and the brand is 19 Crimes, and the label has like some criminal on it, and it tells you the story of that criminal, and it's like reds and whites and all that. So I've had one bottle of it previously, and it was really good. So my wife ordered some.
The modern day most interesting man in the world.
I'm the modern day.
I may call you the modern day Matahara.
I'm the modern day alcoholic of the world.
Anyway, Amanda says a good trade. Jason Scott will send you pottery, and you send him something from the alcohol.
I believe I could do that. We could.
Would he waive the shipping though? I don't think he's a Jew. I know Scott's not a Jew name, but.
Well, you have to DM him for shipping costs.
Yeah, that's the scary part. Short Side would take the deal.
I have plenty of liquor over there. It's got to be like 40 bottles of liquor sitting over there. So I would absolutely take one and send it off to you for a piece of Blue Mountain pottery.
Yeah. I have no idea what this means. You can scan the code and it will play a clip online.
Huh?
Jason Scott will.
Was that the 19 Crimes? He said, I think he's talking about the 19 Crimes.
Oh, so he knows very well about that wine. That's not in your price range, Jason Scott. You're more Mad Dog 50-50.
Well, speaking of scanning things, I have a bottle of Metallica whiskey, which is not good, by the way. But they have a barcode on it where you can scan it, and under a certain app, it plays some music. But the Metallica whiskey is not good.
Yeah, I heard the Connor McDavid one is not very good.
I didn't know he had one.
Yeah, he has one as well, a Scotch or something.
Really? I have to look into that.
I heard it was not very good.
A lot of those liquors and beers that like celebrities or, in the metal world, it's a big thing now because they got to make money somehow because the record industry doesn't make any money.
Yeah.
So like Iron Maiden has beers, which are actually not that bad, by the way. Anthrax has beers. Metallica has whiskey. Slayer has Motorhead has teamed up with Jack Daniels. It's everybody's into something, and most of it's not
Drake,
good.
By the way, Drake has body wash.
Great.
Yeah.
Isn't that wonderful? Anybody want some Drake body wash? Maybe you can get that for Father's Day.
Maybe. We'll go there in a minute. On the 19 Crimes bottle, Jason says, so you'll have to scan that and send me the link or something, and we'll get the audio, and we'll have a glass of 19 Crimes next week. I wanted to tell you quickly about moonshine. I went. It was actually after a passing, not a pleasant time. It was like a wake, but it was an older person. Everything was good. And my cousin had this moonshine. He was Canadian, but he actually had family in Kentucky. And he had literal homemade moonshine in a jar.
Yep.
With like plastic wrap and an elastic band around it.
Yep.
He says, you want to try this? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll try one. People were smoking wacky tobacco. I don't like that shit. And I'm having a beer. And he gives me this, and just a little bit. It tasted exactly like a piece of apple pie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have different flavors.
I thought I was going to go blind. This shit puts Jamaicans to shame.
Oh yeah, if you watch the show Moonshiners, they talk about, and they bottle it in the ball jars, those mason jars, and they talk about making it taste like apple pie, making it taste like cherries and watermelon and all of this stuff, and they sell a lot of it.
This tasted, Big B, obviously with a little bit of a tinge to it, but I mean, it was so. It was probably, and it was homemade moonshine, and it was probably the smoothest straight shot I have ever had of anything. I had 2, and I was fucking hammered. And you folks know I drink on a regular basis. I'm not Big B by any means. I don't have liquor central within 6 inches, but I can drink. And this shit was like, but it tasted like apple pie, like exactly like apple pie.
Yeah.
And yeah, fuck. Never do I want that shit again.
And that's the purest stuff, because they don't put any of the additives or anything inside. You know, the legal stuff, any stuff you buy in a liquor store will have additives and like almost preservative type stuff in it. When you're buying liquor from the woods of Kentucky, you're buying just pure liquor.
Yeah. And I don't know how you watch the show, I know, but it was delicious. And you don't need a lot, ladies and gentlemen. So if they overcharge, it's all good, because you'll get your bang for your buck. I'll tell you that. Anyway, you were mentioning Father's Day. I hear Isbia talking upstairs, so she's obviously got company or something, but Isbia, my wife, that's my nickname, is what we used to call her on Double Talk Radio, was Isbia. Everyone has a nickname, DK, Big B. Anyway, she went on and clicked, so she would not be Facebook user, and she was going to listen or watch or whatever. She added, well, she's got Amanda as a friend, because Amanda is our Scentsy dealer. And she's also added you.
Yep.
And she apparently posted something to remind herself that she may want to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
I warned her afterwards.
Yeah.
She hadn't checked her comments.
Uh-huh.
That you guys are not harsh. You're very friendly people, but you react very friendly to certain things. Well, what she posted, I don't have a picture, I know what I mean, was this manscaping tool.
Yep.
Which, by the way, apparently wasn't for me. Apparently my teenage son has been stealing my beard razor and stuff, and I guess he escapes.
Wait, so he's stealing the thing you put on your face, and he's putting it on other areas of his body.
This is disturbing, is it not?
Very.
Very disturbing. I only found that out because I'm saying, like, well, I'm far past my prime, and I'm wondering why you need to invest this money in this manscaping kit, which comes with like ball deodorant and balm.
Right.
And as much as I love my balls, I it's not something I recently thought of unless you're driving home a hint.
That's what I thought it was.
This is what is becoming of it. So I then returned the question of, when's the last time you trimmed your how wow?
Wow, you had that conversation. Holy crap. You know what? Kudos to you for having that conversation.
You're expecting me to, I don't care what these reviews say. I ain't putting a razor to my testicles, okay? Maybe a straight blade, because you can put some foam on there. But this thing goes, and I ain't seeing good things, because I don't know about your bag, but mine's kind of shriveled, right? Like it's not the smooth, it's not like a wall that you're painting, right? Like it's so I'm not like, I don't feel like being a science project there. If you'd like to, try some out on the side of my cheek or on my chest or even on my shoulders or back, I'm good for that. But I ain't, look, you know me. I'm the king of As Seen on TV, and I ain't trying shit.
You love As Seen on TV.
I ain't trying. That fucking balm probably has bear spray in it, okay? I'm not fucking doing that.
I saw the post, as I've just logged onto Facebook and I'm scrolling through, and I see your wife put that post with nothing, no comments, no nothing. She just put up the link. So to me, that is a hint. And of course, I'm obviously not thinking, it's for your son. I'm thinking it's for you. And, I replied with a GIF.
Yes, very funny meme. Funny.
Yeah, it wasn't anything offensive. I obviously, being your wife, I absolutely will not put anything offensive up there.
You won't go Cave Crew, even though she's a member. She sees it all. So
right, but I will not, out of respect, I will not go, full bore. I just put up a funny little thing, thinking that I trying to picture but not picture you in the bathroom with this thing on Father's Day. Shit, that hurt.
Yeah, exactly. Does it come with Band-Aids?
Short Size says, "Tame that forest, sir."
So what I did for her, Big B, is I instantly turned around and sent her the receipt. I ordered Gorilla Glue off Amazon, and I'm going to give her a Brazilian wax next week.
Oh, my goodness.
That forest, sir. Have you written that down?
I certainly have.
Anyway, enough of those shenanigans. That ain't going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. I am not putting any of that.
Wait. We're not leaving this subject quite yet, because I have a question.
We could send it to Choo Choo Stew or Stuart, and he could try it out and let us know how it works. Did he share with you, by the way, that he had a can of deodorant aerosol explode in his bathroom?
No.
And it blew his bathroom to shit today. Anyway,
no.
Maybe he'll come on in a few weeks.
Oh my God! Through Endless Summer Beach Party, we have to have him on. But I have two questions. I have two questions for you.
Yeah, I'll do my best.
So we're not leaving this subject yet. So first, you said that your razor that you use an electric razor for your face.
According to my wife, I haven't talked to my son and cut his inheritance off yet.
Right, but this is where I'm getting at. So you use an electric razor.
Volunteering Jason Scott for Choo Choo Mania. Now we won't be able to show it, but we can get his face on camera.
That's true.
Just do balm.
We could do a neck up with the sound. As he's caressing Blue Mountain Pottery with one hand and with the other hand, it could be. It's a segment. So
let me know how much you bleed, so in case I gotta call paramedic when I try it out. I mean, I need to know if I need 911 on speed dial because I've never done this. Anyway,
so you use an electric razor for your face, and
like a trimmer.
Right, I have a trimmer too. That I trim this. I have a trimmer. So you apparently found out that your son is using your trimmer for other things other than his face.
Right.
Now, how did you find this out?
In our discussion over the post that we're discussing at the moment. This is not a secret. I'm telling you things that they're actually happening.
So wait. So your wife told you that this was happening?
She suspects. I don't know if she found particles of DNA evidence on the bathroom floor. I'm not as interested in this as you are.
Was there a pile of pubic hair on the floor next to the toilet?
I asked my wife that. She said she's supposed to be in chat.
Hey, where is she? You got to get her on chat. Anyway, all right. So
we need you in chat.
So my next question then is, because we'll wait for your wife to hopefully come on and answer that question. My next question is, what have you done with the razor? Have you put it to your face since you found out?
Well, I just found out, so obviously I came on air, and then I'll use the one that we shaved the dog with. How's that?
So does that mean, like, the one that was supposedly used for other purposes is now trash? Have you?
Well, yeah, I'm going to be doing a curbside pickup at Walmart tomorrow, and I'm going to put it in my safe.
Oh my goodness!
Jason Scott said Amanda's next. Maybe she's got to do the Gorilla Glue challenge.
I think we're just adding events onto the Choo Choo Mania.
Are you? As long as you have it documented.
We have to figure out. We have to get together and figure out for Endless Summer Beach Party. 1 week we will have Choo Choo Mania, and we will have obviously the Amanda and Jason cook-off. Plus, we're now adding the.
I think we should make it something really easy, like grilled cheese.
And see,
I don't know, or we could do like that one show where we send them a list of ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
Like pomegranate, Swiss cheese, Vienna bread, broccoli, and they
make
come up with some. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I like that idea. I think we can go down that hole. But do we do the scaping first or the cooking first? It would be real interesting to do the scaping first and then the cooking.
I think the scaping should be last in case there's any permanent damage. and can you please have I know you have this company. Can you please drop a waiver that needs to be signed before we even do the show? And then, of course, we got that newlywed game thing.
Oh, yeah, I forgot the newlywed game.
We've got a great line. I can't wait for this. It's going to be the highlight of the summer. At the same time, they must agree that Jason Scott has to go from his house and she has to be in her. Like, they can't be in the room together giggling and behind the camera together.
Right. It has to be because they're cooking at the same time. So it has to be in separate places.
Jason Scott wants to wear togas and do a scaping cooking party.
You know what? We can leave it up to interpretation.
Yeah,
if that's how you want to do it. Both parties have to agree to it, but we're up for it.
Open to suggestions. Absolutely. So no sign of Isbia. She has a visitor. She's perhaps breaking curfew or lockdown and talking to someone. Isbia, if you can hear us, we're talking about you in the show. Maybe Isbia can come back next week to answer on these accusations in the court of urine stench.
Ooh, she is being summoned to the court of urine stench alley. I like
it. You are being summoned to the court of urine stench alley. Anyway, folks, we've got some good stuff lined up for you here. A new segment. Some may call it delegating on my part, but I kind of like it. We assign Big B a story every week, or in this case, more 2 stories. So I am going to pull this on the screen and play the lead in, and we're going to let Big B take it away.
Hey, good evening. And now the rest of the story.
And now for another lecture. News editorial with Big B.
All right, let's get your stuff in screen here. And you have a couple of stories for us this week. Editorials, should I say.
Right. So you sent me 2 stories this week to review and editorialize on, and the first one being the Kentucky Derby winner. With the Kentucky Derby was last week or whenever it was.
And for those in other countries, right, the Kentucky Derby, I mean, women dress up in fancy hats, and we've been in restaurants during the Kentucky Derby back in the day when things were normal, and the women wear the fancy hats, and everyone's drinking out of fancy glasses, and this is like the biggest horse race and one part of the what they call Triple Crown. It's like the Super Bowl of horse racing. This is not just horse racing news.
Right. So as horse racing goes, there is the Triple Crown, which is the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, and some other stupid fucking race. But of the 3, the Kentucky Derby is the be all end all of races. Like you said, everybody gets dressed up. It's, everybody's placing bets and watching it on TV, and they're having Kentucky Derby parties and all this, fucking ridiculous shit. So it's a huge event. To watch somebody on a horse run around a track once.
Right. And by the way, I want to tell you before you go into your story, I know you're making light of this, but occasionally when things are normal, the wife and I will drive out to the county where they do these horse races, and it is a fun way to gamble. I will look at the sheet and see the times, and I'll place a $2 bet, win, place, or show. And the wife, of course, will always like a name, like hung like a horse. Right. Or something like that. I make light of it. And then she'll make a bet. And you can usually play and have a couple beers outside, and it's nice. And you win 20, you lose. You win, but it's a fun way to gamble and cheer your horse on.
Right. And that's what happens with these Kentucky Derby parties. Like you said, it's the Super Bowl of horse racing. So everybody it's not just a local thing where you go. And I remember like here in New York, OTB was a big thing, off track betting.
Right.
It was a huge thing where you bet the horses, and it was never televised or anything. You just, you went there, you bet it, and you watched the results. But Kentucky Derby is a national thing. It's huge. It's a gigantic event. In this Kentucky Derby, we had the winner, and I don't remember the horse's name.
Let's call him Hung Like a Horse.
Hung Like a Horse.
Yeah.
So Hung Like a Horse won the Kentucky Derby. Everybody was very excited. They're moving on to the next race to see if they can win the Triple Crown. The Triple Crown has only been won a handful of times. The last time was, I don't know, 1970, whatever. So it came out the other day that this horse tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs. Now, any of you familiar with sports will know performance-enhancing drugs as steroids,
right,
or human growth hormone,
right,
in basketball, baseball, football, hockey, soccer, whatever. Athletes will take these to avoid injury, to get bigger, to get quicker, whatever it is. Apparently, this is a thing in horse racing. And this horse tested positive for, it was an anti-inflammatory drug.
Oh.
So what that will do is, if your muscles are inflamed, they're producing lactic acid, and they're tight. They're very tight, and you obviously you don't have the flexibility. So what an anti-inflammatory will do will alleviate that. You will not be inflamed.
Like
you will not be
ibuprofen.
It's ibuprofen times 1,000.
I got you. Okay.
So your muscles won't be inflamed. You'll have full mobility, full flexibility. If there's any injury that's causing this, it will alleviate it for a brief period of time. So apparently this horse got tested positive. Now, I have a number of questions. Why wasn't, now it's not like you inject the horse 5 seconds before the race and all of a sudden he can run real fast. That's not how it works. It takes time.
Maybe they don't have the horses pee in a jar like they do like Olympic athletes.
Well, I'm assuming they take blood samples from the horse. So
I don't know. Maybe now this has opened up a new can of worms.
No. This has not opened up a new can of worms. This is a thing. So I don't know if they tested it after the race, but the race was last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. So we're now deep in, way deep into going into the next race, and suddenly it comes out that this horse tests positive. Now, my question is, why wasn't the horse tested prior to the race and get the results prior to the race? Because you would then find out that the horse has this drug in them. Two, why now it came out in the story that the trainer of the horse, not the jockey is the guy that rides the horse, the trainer is the caretaker of the horse,
the guy that gives them the anti-inflammatory,
right? He's the caretaker of the horse.
He's the dispenser of the goods,
right? Apparently 5 other horses of his have tested positive for drugs over several years. So, 2, why is this person allowed into horse racing to begin with to inject these animals with this drug?
He is Dr. Feelgood. He is like running New Jack City.
Right. He's fucking the Jose Canseco of the fucking horse racing world, giving everybody shots of fucking performance-enhancing drugs.
This is like the WWE steroid scandal.
Oh yeah, it's fucking Vince McMahon sitting on the stand in New York fucking Superior Court. So why is he involved in racing at all? 5 of his horses previously have tested positive.
Dr. Kardashian or whoever used to inject the people and kill them.
Kevorkian.
Kevorkian, yeah.
Kardashian is the mindless fucking idiots on TV.
Right, the one with the transvestite.
Right, yes, that's them. Yeah. So why is he involved? And 2, what kind of piece of shit do you have to be to inject an animal with fucking performance-enhancing drugs just so you could win a stupid fucking race?
Right.
It's utterly ridiculous that this person is allowed to be involved in racing at all.
You're sounding like a Democrat right now.
No, I mean, it's not Democrat or Republican or conservative or liberal. It's, common decency. Why would you inject an animal with all these fucking drugs, just for your own personal gain? That doesn't make sense to me. That's fucking cruel and unusual punishment for the animal. You're injecting this animal who doesn't know any better. They can't say yes or no. They just sit there and, fucking wince if the fucking needle goes in. Right. Yeah. And they shit in a bag. So, this person
shit in a bag.
They shit. I'll write that down. They shit in a bag.
Yeah. That's in parades. Okay. I don't think that's during horse racing. I think that's when the Clydesdales of the Budweiser crew are parading down, the St. Patrick's Day or whatever your other big parades are on Thanksgiving.
No, it's the horses that fucking go around Central Park too.
Shit in a bag when they're on the racetrack.
No, but when they go around Central Park, those horses that the horses.
Yeah, that's what I mean. When they're in public, they got those big bags underneath them.
Yeah, everybody thinks it's so romantic that you fucking go on a horse and buggy ride around Central Park. You fucking smell shit the entire time. The horse's ass is right in your face,
and they're so elegant. I wish I could shit like that. Trot, trot. Trot.
Do you really wish you could shit while you're walking down the street?
Well, it's the freedom of it, right? It's
okay.
It's like the
to each his own. If you want to shit down the street, more
it's like
power
the
to you.
Xanadu of waste.
The Xanadu of waste. There's another. I'm going to have a lot.
And back to what we're talking about. I don't think the horses racing have the bags because, they're not colostomistic or whatever. They're not having a colostomy. They probably shit as they run. And no one cares there.
Can you imagine? I don't watch horse racing. But can you imagine?
Now?
Can you imagine that they shitting as they run and the person behind them, like they're in full speed, they're going like 30, 40 miles an hour, however fast they go. They're running like there's no tomorrow, and there's shit flying out of this horse's ass.
So you answer me that. Has there ever been a horse in a race that has slipped on another horse's shit?
There's been tons of horse racing accidents where horses have gone down. I'm sure at least 5 of them have been having to do with horse shit.
you're an expert at finding these shows and giving us this knowledge that is behind the scenes on so many things. I need to know how many, because if they break a leg, they shoot them. They're done.
Well, that's if they break a leg, they are put out to stud. So these horses are worth a lot of fucking money. So if they get injured, or if they get injured, or
shit, just call it like it is. If they slip on shit because they're in third place and they haven't been injected with performance enhancing drugs,
no, they don't get shot. If these horses are worth a lot of money, so the breeding is worth a lot of money as well. So if a horse gets injured and can no longer race, or when they get older and they get to quote unquote retirement age, they are put out to stud, which means they are put out to breed future racehorses
because they're purebreds and
because they're purebreds, right?
Someone in like an apron, like this old maid who arouses the stud to impregnate the mare.
There are people that do these things. I'm not one of them. But by the way,
glad to know that, because we probably wouldn't be friends after this.
But by the way, in Kentucky, which I can't wait to move to, horse farms everywhere. Yes, they are used for glue once they die. But horse farms in Kentucky everywhere, green grass, horses. It's a wonderful area to be in, other than shooting
horses
them up with
banging everywhere.
It's a fucking horse orgy in Kentucky.
Now we know that these performance drugs help them run faster and have caused this big scandal that we're talking about tonight. Do they help them last longer during their studying? Is there a
unless their horse cock is inflamed, the anti-inflammatories will do nothing.
I used to think that these were children's stories, but we have the blue pill, the big blue bouncer that supposedly helps us if we can't manufacture. I wonder if that's where they came up with the term a black beauty. And
that's
Viagra for horses.
That's a horse. A black beauty is a horse.
Black beauty.
That's a horse.
All right. See, and you told me you wanted to do this one first because there was absolutely nothing to talk about.
Well, when you have somebody with some interest and they ask questions, it takes on a life of its own.
Right. There's always good. So are we done with?
I believe we're done.
All right. Any questions from the audience? Let us know. You thought that was a dildo, the Black Beauty. You know better than I, Short Side.
He's watching blaxploitation films.
I do want to warn people, though, be very careful what you Google after listening to this show, because your Facebook, Google, Twitter, everything ads will reflect what you Google. I remember one time we did some on sex dolls, and that's all I saw on my advertising for
And this is another question I have for your wife, if she would ever join us. What does she think when she goes on the internet and suddenly these ads for these various vile things pop up?
I don't know. She's still with me, so it can't be bad.
It can't be that, but I have questions for her.
Well, maybe she'll join us next week. She's up there chatting with someone. It could be like she's laughing at the TV. I have no idea. But she purposely said, can you help me sign in so I'm not Facebook user? And I did. And now she hasn't even taken the time to join us. And she'll be like other people we know that show up at the last 10 minutes of the show and go, what did I miss?
Right.
He lives in Epsom.
Like the salt?
I guess. Home of the most famous horse race in the UK.
So when I finally move to Kentucky, I will be living in in the same area as the most famous horse race in the U.S. And Short Side lives in the place with the most famous horse race in the UK.
than you could ever imagine. He's
He's
loving
the horse talk.
Yeah, and it is, by the way, folks, anyone that wants to know, the Epsom Derby. Should Google that.
Is it still like the salt?
You'll have to Google the Epsom Derby. But anyway, we have a show to finish, and you also have another story for us tonight during your Big B editorial.
Does that have to do with the story?
It's someone on Twitch or something. He looks just like he's eating.
So and the second story, which I found more interesting, was apparently there's a trend. Now we all know these trends that go on with these
Tide Pod challenge,
right? All these
bucket challenge. What else did they do?
all these idiot millennials come up with some sort of challenge where at least 6 of them die, and I always am very excited by this. So apparently the latest thing is I guess Amanda is Amanda tagging your wife in this?
I don't know. Maybe she's in chat and we can't see her because she's not commenting. But anyway, let's get through this and we'll circle back.
We'll circle back.
Like another horse racing term. We'll circle back.
Like fucking Biden's idiot fucking press secretary. We'll circle back. So apparently the latest thing is for these idiot fucking millennials, social media wannabes, the look at me generation, is letting meat rot. And by rot, I mean letting it sit out for, a year, 6 months to a year plus.
So this is not just raw meat.
No. This is not raw meat at all. This is rancid, rotting meat.
So whoever planned this, I'm sorry to ask a question so early in the story, but whoever planned this did a lot of planning. Like the Tide Pod, you just take it, you eat it, whatever.
Right.
This one, they are waiting a year for this meat
to rot
with maggots and whatever.
Whatever awfulness comes with it, they are waiting for this meat to be rancid and rotting. And then they're eating it.
So now you understand the look on the face of the guy on the right, who's the Rastafarian Muslim or something. I have no idea what he is.
Right.
Okay.
So this is a thing where somebody on Twitter, I guess it was, or whatever, Instagram, whatever it is, one of these things where I'm an influencer. Decided that they were going to eat some rancid meat, and this caught on. Why, I don't know. It only further tells me the mindset of this idiot generation.
Well, I don't know if you ever did it, but I probably did. You sniffed gasoline. Ooh, like we did some weird shit too. Not quite this crazy.
All right. Well, all right. So let's go down that road for a second. The smell of gasoline, like when you get gas, when you go to a gas station, get gas, the smell of gas is wonderful.
I know.
I love the smell of gas.
Have you ever been with your buddy and you open the can? Like it was weird when we were kids, or that glue, that weird glue that was in the
right. Yeah, you got the glue. You got got whippets.
Weird. What we thought was weird shit, right? Or I don't know if they have them still, but we used to have those pencil erasers, and you'd grind them up, and
I've never heard of that. That's got to be a Canadian thing.
Anyway.
But you have like whippets, like you get the whipped cream, and you before the whipped cream comes out, there's a gas that comes out.
There's that gas that's in there.
Right.
See, now you're
right. So it's something to get high, and supposedly on this rancid meat thing, when you eat the rancid meat, you get a high. There's other things that come with it that you also get when you eat the rancid meat.
Like Ebola.
And it listed everything out. Ebola.
Ebola was there. I just said that.
Ebola was E. coli, salmonella, and botulism.
Yeah, botulism, another favorite of mine.
So these millennials, now the guy on the left with his tongue sticking out,
Yeah, and he's losing his hair too, by the way.
and he's a typical fucking millennial. Doesn't have a job, lives on mommy and daddy's fucking income, and is going to do these things because they want followers on whatever social media platform they're on.
Do they get sponsors? What is the?
They all think they're going to get sponsored.
Okay.
They think they're going to become famous and all. And obviously, it never happens. And the ones that die from doing this,
Has anyone died?
I'm giddy about. They didn't say that anybody's died yet, but people have gotten very, very ill. Stuff like botulism you can die from. It's a poison.
Like, my question to you is, who is worse? Specimen A, let's call it, that started this, or all the fucking idiots? Like, are you that starving for attention?
By far.
Manscape. Just get a Manscaped kit, and you'll be much more attractive to women. You don't need to eat fucking rancid meat.
By far, the worst is the followers. Because everybody should look at this idiot that's eating the rancid meat and say, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's horrible, awful, rancid meat. Now, there is a way to eat meat that has been aged. There is a proper sanitary way. And, people eat dry aged steaks that have been dry aged for 6 months. It's cured. It's done under sanitary conditions. Steakhouses offer it, dry aged, 6 month.
Right. We've heard
beef.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a very sanitary thing that's done under, ideal conditions.
Homogenized and
right. It's all, it's all cured and all that, everything has been done to a very sanitary state. What these idiots are doing,
people like Eskimos, and they preserve fish by packing it in salt. Like, there's ways of doing this.
Right. There's plenty of ways of doing it. What these idiots are doing is just like taking a piece of beef, putting it out on their counter, and letting it sit there for a fucking year.
Are you sure it's a year?
In the story, it said, 6 months to a year plus.
This is a lot of planning. And as a parent, if one of your boys, I'm not saying they do this, would place a pork chop on the counter and say, science project, do not touch. At some point, would you not intervene?
At some point, I'm throwing it away.
As I would. Okay, just checking. I'm not.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Maybe I'm a helicopter parent these days. I don't know.
But here's the thing. These aren't the, kids our age, our kids' age where they're teenagers. These are fucking adults in their 20s and 30s that, want to be internet superstars, which means absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things.
Right.
If you're basing your life on how many likes you get, shoot yourself. Because you're fucking useless.
Our day jobs, right, Big B? I mean, we're pretty popular out there, and we're still doing this because we enjoy doing it, and we ain't made enough to quit our day jobs.
But we are productive members of society. We go to work, we pay our taxes.
We like to get likes, and we've been doing this since 2015, and we've been at this a long time. We got a lot of great fans, a lot of people download, a lot of people watch. We sell T-shirts, yada yada, but we're still working our day jobs.
Right? Yeah. These millennials will, base their whole lives around likes and how many followers they have, and they think for some reason that that's going to get them riches and they never have to work a day in their life. And for 99.9% of them, they're wrong.
Yeah, is this something, and this is a serious question, we have the 12-step program if we drink too much. We have the 12-step program if we do drugs. We have the 12-step program if we're addicted to sex. We have the 12-step program if we gamble. Do we need a 12-step program for social influencers? And by the way, you and I thought of it. Don't let someone steal this from us. Let's jump on it.
No, and yes, to answer your question, yes, because obviously when gambling first came about, when the first casino, or you the first thing you bet on, nobody thought it was going to be a big deal, and it became an addiction. When alcohol was invented, you started drinking it. Oh, you get a little high, whatever, you get a little fucked up. But that became a problem. Anything that in that vein becomes a problem, and eventually you need help. So this is another thing where addiction to the internet, or addiction to devices, addiction to social media, whatever it is, you are going to need a social media, a 12-step program, so to speak.
Intervener. We are the interveners.
Right.
We need to jump in. We need to say, we are one of your own. We are also social influencers on a much smaller scale, but we are wise, and we need to take them out on a boat and keep them out there swabbing the deck and eating raw fish, and they won't die, but they'll start to appreciate life. You and I can do this, and we can sell this as an infomercial, and Amanda can be one of our sponsors.
I'm all for it. We have a Sensi sponsor for the 12-step social media program.
Influencer blockage program.
That's right. And Short Side
is telling me that the people in Iceland, I haven't heard of this, bury dead sharks and then dig them up after 3 months and eat them.
So
it could be a religious ceremony, though.
Well, but I'm assuming because in that area, it's very cold in that area. Obviously, Iceland and Greenland were named opposite
You're
each
saying
other.
they're on ice. They're fresh.
No, but Iceland and Greenland were named opposite each other. So if you go to Greenland, it's completely iced over. Iceland has green areas and stuff like that. They were named that way to hide the people who were there.
The secrets.
Right. So like hiding from Vikings and all that stuff.
Right.
So you wouldn't want to go to Iceland because you would figure it's all ice. So people would hide there. So that's why they named it Iceland, but it's actually green.
That has got to be our fact of the day. I wonder if we have let's see if we can find a sound effect.
There you go.
I don't think I have one, but how about this? Iceland was named Iceland because they wanted to fool the people to go to Greenland.
Yes.
And they attacked Greenland, which there was nobody in Greenland because it was all ice.
Correct.
Yet Iceland was this beautiful place where winter never comes.
Well, no, obviously winter comes, but there's more sustainability of life there. So you wouldn't want to go to when you're looking for places.
Ridiculous as this fucking show is, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes you'll learn something valuable.
So I'm assuming, even though because it's
like even Hitler and Napoleon wouldn't think of a trick like this.
And it's
100% Odin crossing over, yelling Valhalla to Eric the Red or whoever the famous fucking Viking was. Attack Greenland. That's where they are. That's where they're mating. The sheep are the sheep are massive, and the fields grow, and they get to Greenland, and all the people are Hunterland to fucking Iceland. Like they built this walls of Jericho, but it wasn't. It was just a facade.
Right.
This is beautiful.
That's 100% true. You could look it up. That's how Iceland.
Part of the show, ladies and gentlemen.
That's how Iceland.
Anyone else there know that?
I'm
not doubting you.
I'm hopeful somebody knew that.
Fantastic.
I'm hopeful somebody knew that, but that's how Iceland and Greenland got their names. So I don't even remember where I was going with this. So Iceland. I'm assuming when they say they buried the dead sharks and then dig them up after 3 months, I'm assuming there's some sort of almost like a curing process that happens because, it's in the Nordic region, so it's still cold. you're still going to get ice and all that. So I'm assuming when they bury it, there's a curing process that goes on in the burial process. Where, a lot of times, like if you go to Mexico or other countries like that, they bury things and cook them underground. It's just this process that happens when everything is buried. So I'm assuming there's a curing process that happens with these sharks in Iceland when it's buried. When they dig it up after 3 months, it's very flavorful. It's very very moist because obviously underground it's very there's a lot of water underground. So I'm assuming it's a very moist, very flavorful shark when they dig it up.
By the way, is agreeing with you, and apparently I was out in the woods on this one.
I told you a long time ago. I know a lot.
If Amanda knew that, that's what I'm curious of.
I know a little something about a lot of things.
Yeah, no, I will walk away from this show after all the bullshit we've talked about for 90 minutes or better, appreciating that I know, and when I'm at the water cooler, you can guarantee I will be telling the story of Iceland and Greenland, and it's all derived from these fucking idiots curing meat for an entire year to fucking kill themselves.
That's right. See where things go. You even said it in our chat earlier today. You never know where these conversations
Never
go.
expected to learn the history of Iceland and Greenland. I find that, and Amanda is learning right along with me. So perhaps instead of you and Amanda drunkenly chatting after the show, I should serve myself up my Chinese food, which will arrive after the show, and Amanda and I will read a book on the history. No, he's saying they let them rot. It's called
Hakari.
Yeah, the fish rot in its own juices. He's tried it. It's very flavorful. He's alive to tell you of it.
Okay. No, there's something that goes on. So I guess that's a thing.
This is a Canadian pun, Big B, that you may not get. But Jason Scott says the Okie from Muskogee.
Now, what does that mean?
It's I don't know what the Okie is. You got to help me out, Jason. But Muskoka is a very beautiful place in the province of Ontario, and I don't know what the Okie is, Jason. I'm confused. I'm learning too much.
See, now everybody understands why, aside from that 1 week where I got the shot and I lost, but I won every week of Believe It or What. I know a little bit about a lot of things. I watch a ton of documentaries.
We do need to bring that back soon.
But I watch a ton of documentaries. I've read books. I just absorb these things.
We need to do the Book of Stew. But before we do that, I need to let you know that apparently you have a gas shortage in the United States right now in the South. And they are literally, the government is warning people to not store gas in plastic shopping bags. There was a woman in South Carolina, as you see on screen. You want to talk about idiots eating raw meat and shit. She's afraid she's going to run out of gas, so she's putting it in a plastic garbage bag.
So I know we have to get to the choo-choo stew, but real quick. So Joe Biden has been an unmitigated disaster for this country so far.
Yes.
People are out of work. Violent crime is up. The border crisis is untamable at this moment in time. And now, much like when Jimmy Carter, another Democrat, was president, we are experiencing a gas shortage. It was supposedly hacked. The Southern Pipeline was supposedly hacked by whoever. But, of course, he shut down the Keystone Pipeline, which would, bring fuel from Canada to the U.S., put, tens of thousands of Americans and Canadians out of work. So Joe Biden has been an unmitigated disaster. Now we are in a gasoline shortage because of this hack to the pipeline. So retards, much like when the pandemic started and everybody bought out toilet paper, I have no idea why you fucking morons bought out toilet paper, but now they're going to put gas in plastic. And this stupid chick on the picture is not the only one. If you look at Facebook and social media, there are tons of pictures of other retards putting them in plastic bags, filling up, 9 gas cans full of gas.
Gasoline will probably eat through the plastic, I would
before they are done with it. Yeah, of course it is. And my hope is
also spill in your trunk.
My hope is that
possibly causing a fire to blow up your car, and you'll never have to worry about gasoline.
And my hope is that you're in it because you're a fucking retard. I hope all of you that are doing this and putting gas in plastic bags and putting it in your trunk ultimately explode and die because you are fucking on the shallow end of the gene pool. You are fucking idiots in this country. Please go.
Enough. I've got breaking news.
Oh boy.
I am completely wrong about the Okie from Muskogee.
Okay.
Apparently, it's a song that was recorded by Merle Haggard. There was a satire of his father's generation, men and women that had chased after jobs to survive and resented that they saw as a layout, whiny story hippies. So it was the generation of parents that hated the love movement, the hippies, whatever they were.
Right.
And they called them Okies from Muskogee.
Oh, okay.
So I apologize immensely for my mislead of that song.
No problem.
That was not intentional at all. I just don't know if I can handle any more information. But folks, we really, really, really need to get to our next segment and then we can come back and chat if everybody wants to, if I can hold my pee that long. The Book of Choo Choo Stew. Let's go into the intro, and then Big B and I will lead into it before we get into the actual chapter.
Draw near, cave dwellers. Deep in the corner of the cave, covered in dust and memories, lies a book. A book filled with legends and stories that is passed from generation to generation. Some have witnessed the wonders. For some, it lives only in imagination and lore. This is known as the mysterious chronicles of the most interesting man in the world. Listen closely. This is the Book of Choo Choo Stew.
Ah, yes. And it brings back memories to us, but for the people that have never been there, Big B, it gives them a chance to live what we saw as the birth and the elevation of the man we knew, a Choo Choo Stew.
That's right.
And each and every week, we think the next episode is better than the next. But this is one I know you were anxiously waiting for.
Yep.
I have the privilege of going back and finding the tape and listening. And I was literally peeing myself, ladies and gentlemen. Let me now let you into chapter 4, and then we will tell you how we reacted at the time.
The Book of Choo Choo Stew, Chapter 4. This week, our new friend has been to the pub, got lost in the woods, lost his knickers but not his pants, and gets arrested. All while live on air. I call this one A Constable Named Carson.
200-meter run through the forest where they hang themselves.
What is it with English people hanging themselves? I know it's like dreary and cloudy all the time, but
there's no guns allowed. Otherwise, they shoot themselves.
Right. Stu, if you run into a Bobby, I want you to hand him the phone.
Not.
Just hand him the phone. Please.
I'm handing myself over to a Bobby right now. Yeah?
Yes, put him on the phone. Please put him on the phone.
What's your name, mate?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, I'm Constable Carson.
Oh, shit.
Man. This is Constable Carson on the phone.
Well, hello, Constable Carson.
Hello, who am I conversing with?
This is Big B and DK from Cave Crew Radio, coming to you from the U.S. and Canada.
Oh, good evening, U.S. and Canada. This is Constable Carson. I'm reporting from Buckingham.
You're reporting.
Palace. Excuse me, sir.
Now, do you have somebody that we call Choo Choo Stew in front of you?
Yes, this man has been apprehended. There's no worry to the public at this moment in time.
Okay, what are the charges against him?
Well, we found this gentleman walking through forest land. He pretty much what we call here in the UK as arse bollock naked.
Oh, he's naked. Listen,
bollock naked.
Ass bollock naked.
Do you think he is the person that stole London Bridge?
We have our suspicions, and we are apprehending this person as we talk.
Constable Carson, can you please do me a favor? After you apprehend him and bring him down to the police station, go to his house and search the basement for bodies.
We have search warrant. We have had this client under suspect for many, many months.
That's the problem with England is they call criminals, mass murderers, clients.
I was going to ask that. Why was it a client?
We like to call them clients here.
Well, does that bring back memories?
Oh, my God.
I will never forget the line that went down in infamy. Hello, this is Constable Carson.
That is the same night where Choo Choo Stew was going through the forest. He was highly inebriated. He lost his underwear, but not his pants.
You must note that for the show notes. He lost his underwear, but not his pants. He was in Nottingham Forest, by the way, which I'll give you a little bit of history, is where Robin Hood and the Sheriff of Nottingham come from. He was sitting on his balcony or whatever he has, his deck. And yeah, it's all coming back to me now.
You know what? I will still always wonder, and I never asked Stu because I never realized it until we're doing this look back on Stu, why he was anywhere other than his house when he was calling in. He was always under a bridge, in the forest. He was never just sitting outside his house on his steps, in his driveway, even in his basement, whatever. He was never near his house. He was always somewhere else during this. And I always wondered that. And this was the culmination of him calling in, sending messages. This was live. This was the solidification of Choo Choo Stew on this show.
Now, I want to ask you something, because I know the show has never been normal. It's never been normal. For instance, the stories that we told tonight would have led us down a rabbit hole that is as interesting as it was. It would have been even darker with Choo Choo Stew, but we had some kind of normalcy. I'm trying to now, as we go through the chapters, to understand when we actually, the three of us sat and chatted like a normal show.
Right. I don't know. I believe it was shortly after this, because this was like I said, this I think
still
solidified
2015, right? We were still in our first year, maybe 4 or 5 months in or whatever.
Right. And this solidified.
And this made the network crash.
This solidified Choo Choo Stew as a character on
right?
the show. And then he started, because this was like, he's already done, at this point, I believe he had already done a couple of call-ins.
Yeah.
He's done recorded episodes, recorded segments. So I think at this point it was like, why don't you come on every week?
Well, the last week he was live. Remember, he was. I can't remember what happened now. It's
right, but this was last week he was just in his car under the bridge.
Under the bridge, that's what it was.
Right. So, but this was the culmination of, all right, you're really you've stepped into more than being a fan, more than being a person that'll just send in a clip every now and then. You've become a character on the show.
We are now addicted to you, like these millennials are to eating the meat.
Right. So
we are now so enthralled in this character that it's beyond an email.
Right.
We were like Alice in the Looking Glass. We didn't know what we were getting into.
Right. And I don't think there was ever an official, like, you want to join the show moment. It was just kind of like, that was great. Come on next week.
Yeah.
And just continue
coming.
Right. And just keep coming.
Just give us more. Now, I don't want to spoil things, and I don't know how far ahead I am getting with myself, but now the next story I remember, and it might not be next, we'll have to wait till next week. But remember the time he couldn't get on because of his internet and he broke into the Indian's house?
Yes. He broke into his neighbor's house to get online to get on the show. He literally broke in.
We're not shitting you, folks. We feed you a lot of bullshit. This is, if there's anything that's real and there's anything that's gospel and there's anything that's true, it's Choo Choo Stew. We don't make this shit up. It just fucking happens.
I remember he had
power went out and he had the key to the neighbor's house.
Right. He had such a problem getting online that it may be like at the very beginning of the show or whatever it was, he went across next door to his neighbor, went into his house.
Yeah, he had a key to his house. He was away.
Right. The neighbor was away, and Choo Choo Stew was in charge of watching the house, getting the mail and whatever.
Yeah. And he did the show.
And he used the key to get in the house, used the internet from his neighbor's house to get on the show.
Right. And I don't think we were video. I might be wrong.
No, we weren't.
I think we were video then.
Nope.
But yeah, I'm not shitting you, folks. That actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
We tell you, this is why we're doing this, is because we've been telling you, You've probably came on a year or 2 or 3 ago and wondered, why are these guys picking on this dude? Why are they? You don't know the fucking half of the shit we've gone through. I'm telling you.
It's been every week, literally every week from Choo Choo Stew's inception to his leaving the show. Every week was interesting somehow because either he couldn't connect, he was sleeping, he was, pissing out the door. There was
Remember the
always
time he
something.
broadcasted from the bathroom because they were transforming his studio from I think he was in a cupboard. I don't know what he was in. And they were transforming that into a loo, and he was sitting on a toilet that was not yet connected. We're not bullshitting you, folks. We make up a lot of shit. And we have a lot of fun on the show, but everything that has to do with Choo Choo Stew absolutely happened.
That's 100% true. He was in his bathroom, and we didn't know up until showtime. He told us right before we went on that he was in his bathroom because contractors were working in his house. He was putting another level, like over the years that we knew Stu, his house, had to have gone to 19 levels high.
Yes, and a log cabin.
And a log cabin. So he's done more renovations on his house.
And the guy's property is smaller than yours and mine.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But at this point in time, he was in his bathroom because they were working. His studio, quote unquote, was torn apart and they were doing things. So he broadcasted from in his bathroom.
He was sitting on a toilet for his chair. Yeah, you can call us nuts, and we are. But yeah, this is all real. This is like Yellow Submarine, Strawberry Fields Forever, whatever you want to call it. It's not made up. And we will prove it to you. It is our mission to prove it to you that this is not us picking on someone.
No. I think my next favorite story, and I don't know where this will come in the book of Choo Choo Stew, but my next favorite story, this was my all-time favorite, where he lost his underwear but not his pants in Sherwood Forest, and we met Constable Carson for the first time. My next favorite story is when he was in Finland.
In the sauna.
In the sauna, naked with the mayor of the town.
And the police chief.
Not the mayor, the police chief. The police chief.
Drinking vodka out of his trunk without understanding a word that the guy said. Yeah.
Yes. That is my next favorite story from Choo Choo.
I don't know when that comes along either. We'll have to wait and see. I have a feeling next week is the introduction of urine stench Ellie. All gone. I don't know if you remember that, but it's the introduction of urine stench Ellie. This is well before the allotment or anything else. All right, so folks, we can chat with you for a few minutes, but we're going to call on you now. Before we get to ours, what would you name this episode? We do it every week. We do have another book of stew for next week. But yeah, what would you name this episode if you could name it? Most of you are familiar with it. Short Side yells out, "Bottled down." I don't think that was an episode.
No, that means this. Bottled down. It's done.
Is that kind of like Chin Chin?
Kind of the other end of Chin Chin.
I really want to be with a group of people when we're allowed again. We discussed this all earlier with COVID, but I think that's going to be my new line. Chin Chin.
I honestly
don't know if Stu did the same thing when he was visiting me, but I'd hand him a cigarette Cheers. Give him a plate of food. Cheers. Bring him a beer. Cheers. If he met someone new, cheers. Everything was fucking cheers. So chin chin. Maybe
I can't
maybe
wait.
we can get Short Sigh on the show, and slowly but surely. So Short Sigh, you should send us a recorded message. This is how it usually starts, or send us an email. We'll read the email, and maybe if we find another crazy character, Big B and I may do this for another 4 or 5 years.
I think at least during the Endless Summer Beach Party, we have Short Sigh on at least once.
Yeah. Short Sigh wants to go with Chicken and Dickin. Was that on the pre-show? I can't remember.
Yeah. That was the one. I couldn't remember what it was.
That's what those of us do that can't afford cable and don't have Netflix.
There you go.
We go to Kentucky Fried Chicken. I eat all the skin. Hopefully it's been manscaped. All right, I'll go first as I always do because you always have more.
Yep.
I'm gonna start a new segment, guys. Before Big B goes, I want you to type in chat. I think tonight he has 6. So put in chat what you think Big B has. How many show titles does Big B have? Tonight, I bet 6. Short Side says that was early, and it was pre-moonshine. I've just been I loved when Short Side said he dumped his hacks when we were playing the Choo Choo Stew thing.
Right.
He dumped his hacks. I also wrote down, because I was way off from it, the Okie from Muskogee from Jason Scott.
Okay.
I also wrote down my last one because I was busy, but from Constable Carson when he said, "Ass Bullock naked."
Yep.
All right, nobody wants to guess. Your last chance.
How many do I have?
I say 6. How many do you? Hang on a minute. Let's.
But there's about a 20-second delay.
Don't answer yet.
No, I know. There's about a 20-second delay between
All right,
live and chat. So let's give it a few seconds.
We'll give it a second. I'll have a sip of beer, and then we'll say. New segment, ladies and gentlemen, because we're running out of shit. How many show titles does Big B have? Jason and Amanda are probably arguing.
Short Side is drunk by now.
I'm getting there too, actually. I'm pounding the beers. All right. No one wants to play.
No one wants to play.
I say 6. Oh. Amanda says 7.
Okay.
Let's keep it
Anybody
going.
Anybody else?
We can go a little over. We are not tied to any network, and as long as Facebook and YouTube don't cut us off, it's normal. How many, Si?
He said it's a normal 7.
Oh, they say 7. Okay.
Yeah.
So I say 6. Jason Scott's probably on the phone with Domino's. Either that or he's in the A&W drive-through.
Right.
Because Lord knows he isn't buying fresh meat and vegetables to cook Amanda a meal.
That will all change at Choo Choo Mania.
All right. How many do we have? And they have to eat each other's meal, by the way. But they're going to be in separate places. How are we going to make this? Because if they're in the same house, it won't work.
No, they have to be they're in separate places. You know what? I've watched a ton of food contests and stuff. I know how this. I have a good idea how this works. So they're going to cook their meals. We're going to see what it looks like. We're going to listen to how they think it tastes, and we'll judge on that based upon that.
All right.
So the number is, you say 6, short size says 7, Amanda says 7, Jason Scott is ordering Domino's, so he's not involved. The number is 7.
Oh, good job, everybody out there. Okay, so I'm going to have writer's cramp. But what doesn't make it on the show, and we got to keep short size over here. Chicken and dick. I might do some chicken and dickin'. I'm having Chinese food, and I think we have chicken sugai. And maybe I'll do some chicken and dickin'.
I've drank moonshine. I've drank in moonshine beers and peanut butter whiskey, and I have sushi waiting for me.
Oh, hope it's not aged.
That'll be fun. First off, you already have it from very early on. Chicken and dickin', of course.
All right, so that's number 1. You said you couldn't remember that.
No, I wrote it down really at the beginning.
Oh,
but I couldn't read my writing, and then short size said chicken and dickin'. I said, that's what that is.
I have one, but I can't read what I've got here.
Right.
Cheers.
Okay.
Okay.
So he lost his underwear, but not his pants.
Hang on, it takes me a minute to.
Sure.
Which would probably be more show notes.
Right. I would assume that's show notes. Next, are you ready?
Yep.
That you had 2, ass bullock naked.
Yeah, I like that. And we never named a show that, by the way.
No, we didn't. But I have. There are 4 others that I think are better.
Okay. Better than chicken and dickin'.
Better than chicken and dickin', yes.
All
right. First, they shit in a bag.
Get your votes in, folks.
Are you ready for the next one?
Yep.
Tame that forest, sir.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to have great show notes. I don't know about the name, but we're going to have great show notes. People are going to come listen. This is going to be the most escaping balls face is also in there. Go ahead.
The next 2 are my 2 favorite. So I will start off.
Better than what we got.
Better than what we've got, yes. The next 2, and it's the final 2, are my favorites. First, I will start off with the Xanadu of waste.
I don't even know how to spell that.
Xandu. Xanadu.
Xanadu of waste. That would be a good show title. Anyway.
And the other tied for first. I ain't putting a razor to my testicles.
Okay, folks, I'm going to read them to you. I know there's a delay, but I got to pee. We got Okie from Muskogee, chicken and dickin'. He lost his underwear, but not his pants. Ass bullock naked. The shit in a bag. I can't read that one. Oh, tame that forest, sir. The Xanadu of waste and I ain't putting a razor to my testicles. I'm going to go first. Oh, Jason Scott, Chicken and Dickin. We have a contest going here because I'm going Xanadu of Waste. We need some votes. Short Sigh, Amanda, Melissa, if you're listening. Anybody, before we go over to Big B. So far, 1 vote, Chicken and Dickin. 1 vote, the Xanadu of Waste. Both excellent titles, by the way. Waiting on Amanda. She's probably cutting Jason Scott's Domino pizza right now.
Let me just say, while we're waiting, Short Side says, for the show notes, straight blade to a shriveled bag.
Where the hell is that?
That's right above, right before Chicken and Dickin from Jason Scott.
Oh, there you go. Straight blade to a shriveled. I can't write all this. All right, while I write this, you talk and tell them about the show. And
so as we're waiting, let's run it down. Chicken and Dickin has a vote from Jason Scott. The Xanadu of Waste has a vote from our own DK. Chicken and Dickin has a vote from Amanda.
Oh, we got 2. You could cause a tie.
I could cause a tie.
We have no vote from Short Sigh.
We have no vote from Short Sigh. He's giving.
While we're waiting for Short Sigh, what is your vote?
If between the 2,
well, I mean, or you could pick one, but you'd be well.
I could pick one, but I have 2 favorites, so I will go with one that's already been voted. I will say the Xanadu of Waste.
Okay, so right now, Short Sigh, he picked Chicken. It's over. Chicken and Dickin is the name of the show. Xanadu of Waste. You picked it, ladies and gentlemen, and far from us to overturn you. Xanadu of Waste will definitely make it into the show notes, and I'll sort through this other shit and make other show notes. So there you go, folks. This week's show, Chicken and Dickin. Glad you could be a part of the show.
So I have a quick question before we leave.
Yeah.
Who is going to be messaging me in a drunken state?
Yes.
After the show.
This is your and there we go. You pick it, we lick it.
That's really odd.
Chicken and Dickin, I think he's referring to. Anyway, great show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Glad we're never going to jinx ourselves. We're going to, Big B will be, maybe Short Sigh.
Maybe Short Sigh. Jason Scott says Amanda will be messaging me.
Okay.
I'm waiting for somebody to message me in a drunken state after the show.
Is there any way we could record this and place it on the Facebook page? Does anyone know how to record?
It's just text messaging.
Oh, I thought you were going to video.
Well, if somebody wants to video chat me, sure, but
they want an after show party.
See, that's what happens when you're the resident drunk of the show. Thank you. Apparently, I've become that. You become the after show party.
So, caller number 1, the Big B, as we close out the show. I can't keep the show going, or I am going to dump in my hacks. Short Sigh.
I got to piss like a motherfucker.
That's what I'm trying to say. She works tomorrow, so
boo.
All right, but it's a brand new thing we got going just because we love to give back to the Cave Crew Network. You got to give Big B a chance to pee. Let him grab a beer and a couple of pieces of sushi and in his cack. Sorry. I put hacks. I apologize because I wanted to use that in the show notes. I'm glad you corrected me. He dumped in his cacks. Well, Big B and I are both about to dump in our cacks. Ladies and gentlemen, we love you more than you'll ever know. You'll never understand how much stress we had having to record and not being able to spend our time with you over that week or two. So we're so glad we're back doing this again.
Wait. I have breaking news.
Oh, breaking news.
Can you put me on screen?
Oh, you have Amanda. Okay.
I have Amanda. She just Facebook messaged me. There she is.
Oh, she looks lovely. Look at her.
There she is. Even before the show ended, she Facebook messaged me.
And she's watching the show and chatting with you at the same time.
Well, she's not chatting. She just called me and just laughing the whole time.
Yeah, but she's looking up at the TV. She's look.
Yeah, we know it's 20 seconds delayed.
Okay, so Amanda is the winner. I'm gonna let you guys go. And Amanda, for this late at night, you look fantastic. By the way, even on Big B's cell phone, you have Jason Scott as a real keeper there. So I'll wait to hear back next week, Big B, on your after show chat. I'm gonna. Oh goodness, that's too funny. She's answered, it's too funny, she says. But I am sincere, Amanda. Jason Scott is laughing. So is Short Side. Ladies and gentlemen, you too can chat with Big B, but first you got to friend him. You have to
send me a friend request. And
first you got to join the Facebook radio.
I do want to be on Facebook.
You know what I mean. The Cave Crew Radio Facebook crew. Then you have to have Big B a friend. Then you will have an opportunity to talk to the celebrity that is Big B right here on Cave Crew Radio. I got to go. I got to pee. I just hope you don't pee while you're talking to Amanda. That's
well, no, now I have to wait to pee because I'm talking to Amanda.
You guys,
I'm not going to bring the phone into the bathroom with me.
I can't wait to hear what you guys talk about. It's absolutely amazing. I got to go. Here we go.
Thank you very much for listening to the show. Now stay safe, take care, and wash your hands.
Amanda, hold on. I got
Radio live on Facebook, YouTube, and CaveCrewRadio.com, and always on demand wherever podcasts are found. Search Cave Crew Radio.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Fox and Friends in the morning, they're very honorable people.